Kochi city. History of Kochi. Kochi is surrounded by Western Ghats on the east and the Arabian Sea on the west. Kochi, formerly known as Cochin, is an important and beautiful port city of Kerala. It is located in the district of Ernakulam, about 220 kilometers north of the state capital Trivandrum. The word Kochi is derived from the Malayalam word Kochi Azi, which means lagoon. One thing constant about the city is that its strategic location has always made it stand out as a significant commercial and industrial hub of Kerala. During 14th century, Kochi gained a reputation for being an important spice trade center. Kochi was an insignificant fishing village until 14th century. So how did Kochi become a center for trade in India is because of Indian Ocean trade that happened between countries of Africa and Asia, which helped Kochi in establishing a strong city network and evolution of the city. The monsoon wind also played an important role in making the trade happen. For example, winds from April to September started from Africa to Asia, and from October to March, it started from Asia to Africa. Due to developing trade opportunities, many traders from different regions started their trade marketing in the city. And Kochi as a port city was established. Communities from Maharashtra traded perfume, Gujarat traded spice, Arabs traded their book and script and dates, Chinese traded their nets, African for ivories, etc. Due to increasing economical value of the city, political shifts were also taking place as India was under colonial rule. From 1600 to 1948, rulers like Portugal, Dutch, British ruled Kochi. Due to all such dramatic scenes happening around the city context, the main character of the city had evolved, which was the port capital of India. Political power never overpowered economical power. One reason could be mutual understanding of conducting trade in Indian Ocean due to the balanced ecology that the land had to offer. This helped the city to grow its infrastructure. Geographical history of Kochi. Kochi lies at the northern end of the country. The city has a seacoast of around 30 miles and it is surrounded by natural fluxes like Western Ghats, rivers, Arabian Sea, mangroves, estuaries, etc. The land is at sea level and is a natural harbour. Formation of land in Kochi. Going back into the timeline, the land was formed due to flood in Periyar River. The tidal wave forces which helped in sediment deposition from the river, influencing the creation of lagoon system and land formation. Due to the new land formation, the center was shifted from Tripunithura to Mattancherry. The city had significantly developed over the span of 20 years from 2000 to 2020. Kochi has a diverse multicultural and secular community consisting of Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Jains, Sikhs, Konkanis, Buddhists, among the other denominations. Today, the population of Kochi is of mixed type of people from all over the parts of Kerala and most of India. History of architecture in Kochi. The city's architectural style has influence from Portuguese, Dutch, European, and Indian style of architecture. In Portugal style of architecture, there were symmetrical facades with tripartite divisions, large ornamental arch windows with stucco moldings, balcony spaces, entrance porch, corridors with verandas and backyards. In Dutch style of architecture was with whitewashed wall, large wooden sash of cottage panels, external wall wood shutters, long horizontal facades which were usually single or double story buildings with dormer windows. European type of architecture, there were grouped windows, masonry walls, half timbered masonry and gabled roof, half timbering, multiple plain windows, side gable and plastery front entrance. In Indian style of architecture, there were various elements, including features that were aesthetically elegant. Various transitional spaces were seen, facilities for various human activities, verandas, gable roof, courtyards. The roof pitched angle was around 30 degrees to 40 degrees. The roofs were usually prefabricated and then placed over the overhanging support by wooden brackets. Structurally, the roof frame was supported on the pillars of the wall erected on a plinth raised from the ground for protection against dampness and insects in the tropical climate.
Kochi has developed substantially over the years, owing to its activity centers that lead to the rise up of Kochi as an important city of Kerala, namely Fort Kochi, with all its historic edifices and heritage, has been a prime place for tourism in Kochi and all of Kerala. Ellur Panchayat area, most important center for industrial activities. Wellington Lionel, which accommodates all the naval activities. Vallar Padam, which has all the container handling activities happening there. Kumbalangi, which is rich in its flora and fauna and has been acting as a tourist village for several years now. According to 2034 DP, Uh, Areas which have been demarked here are areas where development of civic control or entertainment can be proposed. These have been selected on the basis of their connectivity with public transport, having good road connectivity and accessibility, etc. These areas were demarked to select a particular site for the Guggenheim Museum, which has good road connectivity as well as is well connected to the rest of the city. When we talk about any city or any other geographical space, we identify the elements as two superimposed layers, fluxus and territory. We recognize three types of fluxus. Natural fluxes are a part of the ecosystem of the territory, as in the case of the watercourse or prevailing winds, which is the dominant flux in case of the city that we have taken, Kochi. Virtual fluxes are decision flows which occur outside the physical territory yet affect the physical evolution of the territory, and material fluxes which are related to the mobility of people or goods, and these are constrained by natural and virtual flows. An hybrid block has been created as a result. Kochi, due to abundant rainfall and the blocking up of all the canals, faces a lot of environmental issues, namely floods, where backwaters of Vembanad Lake and Periyar Lake flood up the areas nearby. One of such incidences which have been recorded is the flooding of the Periyar River, which has led to the destruction of crop and the houses nearby, as well as the the external wall of the Kochi International Airport. This has happened because of the filling up of the a river, which falls into the runway of the current location of the airport. Kochi's primary source of drinking water is Periyar River, which is located 20 kilometers northeast of COC. The water treatment plant called the Aluva Head works there. The threat is that absence of comprehensive water management system threatens the sustainability of the system in the long run. So there might be issues concerning the water supply in future. Drainage network natural lineage. Kochi is characterized by the flat topography and high water table. The city has sandbars running from north to south with several tidal canals in between. The climate in Kochi is tropical and the city enjoys monsoons twice a year. The city has three levels of drainage system: primary canals, natural man-made secondary drains, and area drains. One of the threats which can be evidently seen is how the industrial pollution from Ellur Kalamasi industrial belt have discharged into the black waters. Weakness being drain covers only 40% of the total area. Flooding is a result of decreased carrying capacity of the canal system due to encroachment, conversion of canals to roads, waste dumping and obstruction caused by utility lines and silting. The development restrictions near the CRZ zones have led to abolishing of several high-rise structures along the edges of the Vembanad Lake. Kochi as a city has several future development goals. Vision 2020 talks about transformation of Kochi into an inclusive, vibrant city of opportunities with efficient urban services, sustainable growth, and ease of living. The objective of SCM is to promote cities that provide core infrastructure and give decent quality of life to its citizens, a clean and sustainable environment, and application of smart solution. The focus is on sustainable and inclusive development, area-based development, and these strategies span across the city. There are several themes which are directed towards betterment of the city. One being connectivity and accessibility to the city and within the city, building a city with a vibrant identity, a clean, green, safe, and healthy city, an inclusive and a smart governed city. Restoration of canals and other spaces, doing something about those areas which have been flooded heavily, waterfront development planning, including rehabilitation of encroachers on the public land, land use planning based on sound principles of planning, beautification of specific waterfronts, water-based recreational facility, and enhancement of the use of waterways for tourism and inland navigation are some of the activities that the government is going to take up to achieve the Vision 2030. Today, open spaces in Kochi are shrinking to less than 1%. It is really important to conserve such spaces. Hence, a lot of norms has been put up for the same. Kerala is home to a stunningly unique variety of art forms which have impacted the social and the cultural life of the state, adding to its typical character. These art forms help one to experience a gamut of varied emotions ranging from passion, love, kindness, compassion, joy, sorrow, grief, horror, wonder, etc. They've also been recognized by UNESCO, namely Kudiyattam, Kathakali, Kalaripayattu, Mohiniyattam, and Thirayattam. The Kochi Muziris Biennale seeks to invoke the latent cosmopolitan spirit of the modern metropolis of Kochi and its mythical past. Muziris creates a platform that will introduce contemporary international visual art theory and practice to India. The Biennale has a very positive impact on the city, namely economic impact. It boosts the local economy of Fort Kochi, increase in the number of homestays in the recent years, reinforcing tourism. Binale is increasingly getting dispersed around the city, fusion of art into public spaces, and employment opportunities for the laborers. Over the years, it has brought in a lot of art enthusiasts into the city.
Kochi is a major port city on the southwest coast of India bordering the Laccadive Sea, a part of the Arabian Sea. It is a part of the district of Ernakulam in the state of Kerala and is often referred to as Ernakulam. Due to its geographical location, the city has a rich historic evolution, which cater to a lot of amenities the city has to offer. Owing to its rich flora and fauna, the city has undergone a lot of changes in the recent years because of its tropical climate. Some of the major factors would be floodline, natural and man-made topography, landfills, soil type, surface runoff, botanical gardens, heritage, metro lines, and water metro. There are majorly 18 canals that run across the city, which is the secondary mode of transport, primary being the road networks. These canals are divided in such a way that it flows through the city's major commercial zones. Due to the fact that these canals pass through residential sectors as well, massive residential waste has been discharged on these canals, thereby blocking the water and making it stagnant. Stagnant water creates a kind of foul smell which forms an ungrateful experience for the visitors as well as to the residents then and there. When we talked about dividing the city through canals, that means in order to approach from point A to point B, the road networks are quite narrow and not feasible for the common sector to travel within. Due to this, the distance between facilities such as markets, gyms, hospitals, religious places, etc., are at a distance of around 3 kilometers from each other. The low network of connectivity might be because of the occasional overflooding of the canals. Due to this, only recreational and multi-purpose areas are allotted along the canal line. Overflooding of the canals is a major problem because of its tropical monsoon climate. During monsoon, the water level rises to a level making the canals to overflood and indulge into residential sectors adjacent to it. Not only residential but the metropolitan, which were proposed, are majorly running over the canals in order to avoid forest and private open spaces in the urban sector. The location of the metro tracks or metro junctions are so close to the residential sectors that the privacy of those residential blocks are at stake. When we talk about residential sectors, Kochi has a vast urban block sector surrounded by mangroves on all sides. This orientation and location of spaces is determined according to the soil condition of Kochi or any productive purposes. Because of the sedimentation of the coastal areas and also considering the elimination of mangroves, the soil becomes impervious for cultivation of or any productive purposes. That is the core reason for the unsettling groundwater table. On the basis of the groundwater table, bird sanctuaries and on the basis of those groundwater table, government has issued areas which are suitable for building wells. Bird sanctuaries and backwaters are located close by. When we talk about backwaters, major occupation that is being carried on is the rotting of coconut husk and leaving the waste residue to wash off. Therefore, the water which flows to the botanical gardens has turned grey, resulting in pungent or foul smell. Kochi, being the center of economic trade, has a lot of different communities residing. Some of them are Vanayar, a Hindu community of agricultural laborers from Tamil Nadu; Izhava, a community which fought for anti-caste struggle in Kerala; Kutch Bhatia, a community of traders and entrepreneurs; Tamil Vannar, a community which carries out laundry services. Like these, there are majorly 24 to 25 communities which actually reside in the overall coast of Kochi.